Great. So welcome everyone again. Now we have our friends coming through different platform, and we will start in a few minutes doing coding. So we'll do some Python coding. As I said, we'll be covering the fundamental of programming. This is module 3. So module 1, we understood how to start creating your first Python program, how to access the IBM platform, what is required to get the IBM badges or certificate, if you can look at it that way, and how we can access the Jupyter notebook, which we're using as the development environment to create the coding. We looked at a few commands in Python, how to use the print statement, how to declare variables, how to add comments to comment your code. And then we spoke about the data structures, and we spoke about the 4 components of data structures. Remember, we looked at the list, which comprehensive. It allows you to store multiple types of data in a list, and you can sort it, and you can reverse it, you can add to it using append, and you can extract from it or remove things using remove, and we can do many things with the list. And we did that one. Hello everyone, I can see some comments coming from you. And then I'll look at them in a minute. And then we looked at the tuples. The tuples similar to the list, but the difference, they cannot be ordered, they cannot be extended, and they have limited functionalities. They have only the 2 functions, count and index. But the list has so many methods, as we said. And then we looked at, we said tuples used usually to store data that you don't want to change. And that sometimes it's a configuration of your system or thing like that. You put it in the tuples. But the list allow you to have lots of things, even duplicated data that you repeat a number twice or a person more than one time, it accepts that as well. But if we go to the set, which the 3rd one, it doesn't allow that duplication, and you cannot sort it. It's already ordered and put in the right order. And the set is more rich. So we notice that we can look at the difference between 2 sets. We can look at the intersection between 2 sets. We can look at the union of 2 sets or 3 or 4 as much as they are. And we can do many things mathematically with the sets, which are very useful type of data or data structure. And then we looked at finally at the dictionary, where you can create your own dictionary of data by using 2 key components. One is a key and one is the value. So we looked at, we can create a dictionary for student. We'll have the key student name. We'll see have a key the student age. We can have a key the courses or the course is doing. That's a dictionary, and we can work with the dictionary. And I say the dictionary follows something called JSON format. So it's similar to the JSON format, and it's a common in data science, artificial intelligence, and many types of technologies which are getting very famous now. Okay, so today we'll go into the programming fundamentals, and to start and make sure that everyone is ready. Yes, here it's saying where I'm supposed to answer your questions. Similar, the same system we're using every day, but if you are new, I will show you where is it. So let's go and share screen. The system we're using, in fact, we developed this one called learnhow.com, and the idea behind it, we want to engage student. So you can use it yourself to create courses and register student and run workshops or courses similar to what we do here. So you basically go to learnhow.com, then you log in using Google or Facebook, and then you start creating courses and giving access to the people. Now the link is here. If you scan this code, QR code, using your phone camera, it should take you to the course. And you should get there into the course. And that's what you need to do. And people on Facebook and others, just scan this one, then you can join the course. You need to log in for sure. And once you are there, we will start now our today session, which this one, module 3. We did module 1, module 2. Today we are in module 3. So I'm going to go there and make it live. Now, when you go to that course, when you get into the course, you will find this live is there. So if you click here, it should take you into something like this. So you can start follow me. And you can ask me questions here, and I'll ask you questions somewhere here. So it's both ways of communication. Back to my screen. So today we'll be covering those programming fundamentals. They are module 3 in the course which we're doing. To get to the course, you need to go to cognitive class from IBM. This is the one. I'm repeating things because every time we get one or two or few new coming first time, you still maybe you can follow us. So if you search there for Python, there are 5 courses in this list related to Python. We're doing this one. So if you click on this one, Python for data science, it should ask you to enroll and do things like that. And then you go into the class. So we'll go there. So today we're doing module 3. And module 3 include those things we'll be talking about it today. So we'll be looking at the conditions or branching. We'll be looking at the loops. We'll look at the for loop and the while loop. Then we'll create some functions and see how the function can be useful and how we create them. Then we will look at object and classes. And the last thing will be the exceptional handling, which we'll go through that one. So that's what we're doing today. Okay, let's move ahead. Now we'll start by the conditions. Programming require logic, yeah? And logic is very important. Let me see if any question. Can the student variable in the dictionary be considered as, yes, can be, yeah. And you can mix any type of data inside a dictionary. Same thing in a list or a table, all of it. Yes, that's correct. Hi, thank you. Okay, back here. So today we'll start by the if statement. So the if statement is a condition. So in coding, sometimes you need to apply certain condition. Assume you're going for an insurance company and you want to do health insurance or car insurance or whatever. Sometimes they have rules based on the age or based on previous experience. Let's just take the age. Just to simplify things. It's not the way it's always done, but just to simplify. So if someone, his age is more than, say, 60, his rate will be different from someone less than 60, from someone 30, 40, whatever it is. So they will apply in the code a condition. If age is more than 60, then the rate will be different. Else, if it's not more than 60, is there another condition? Sometimes there is another group of people that you need to do, then you can have a condition. We'll look at all this. So the conditions are there, and in our life full of conditions. You come to a traffic light, it's red, you stop. Green, you go. Yellow, you slow down and make sure you be careful. there. So conditions everywhere, and programming logic is based on the condition. So when you look at the condition, you have to look at they are equal. If you're using equal, and remember, it's not only one equal. This is not math, yeah? You have to use double equal here to make sure you are testing. So if you say if A is equal B, means are the two values are equal, then you do something. If you want to look at if they are not equal, if A is not equal B, then you can use this way. So this is the way you do not equal. If something less, it's none, less or equal, more than or equal. So these are the options that we use in the if statement to create an if statement. Let's have a look at an if statement. And I think, look at this scenario, and we will create few if statements and conditions ourselves. Now, if you look at this code, I have value for x equal 10 and y is 20. Now I have a condition here, if. You see the if? Remember, the I should be lowercase. Again, we said Python is a case sensitive, so you cannot start by capital letter I. It has to be lowercase. And then your condition can be between bracket or without bracket. Now, when you have so many conditions, the bracket becomes important. My practice is always I use bracket because that help me structure my code. So if x is more than y, this is the condition. And then notice here, you have a colon. It's not space or semicolon. In other languages, you have nothing here, like in Java, for example, or you just say if x is more than y and nothing. No, in Python, you must have this colon. The colon here means the coming lines are part of the if statement. So you have to have this colon, and they are not equal or they are colon. And then what will happen if that is really true? If x is more than y, what will happen? It will print x is more than y and give us value for x on the screen. And this is the way it's going to do. Now, in case this is not true, we have something called else. Again, else, all lowercase, and there's colon here. I just repeat this, with this colon, you will miss it. This is the practice will get you not to miss it. You will not miss it in the future. But at the beginning, you'll find yourself sometime not having this colon and you're getting some error. Colon is important, okay? And then there's print x is not more than y. Now, if we run this code, because x is 10 and y is 20, so 10 is not more than 20. So this one is not right. Yeah, the answer here is not true. So it will jump to the else and it will print this statement, x is not more than y. So you will get this one. Okay, let's do some coding and then we will practice it so we can look at all those different type of if statements that can be used. I'm going to use Anaconda. I hope those people who had problem with launching Anaconda, they managed to get it. If you don't, you can go to the IBM platform and you should be able to do. Let me create a new file, remove my video from there. I'm not sure if you see my video there or not. I'll move it here. Okay, so let's get here and let's maximize as much you can do. So let's say now again, we'll put some variables, x equal 10, y equal 30, yeah? I'm changing, I'm putting different value, yeah? 30, okay? And now I come with the if statement. If, yeah? Something wrong with my computer, is a little bit slow today. I think I'm maybe running some extra things. I just created a video using a software. Okay, if x is more than y, Yeah. Notice I did this, but in the video, maybe it was in the example was like that. It's okay. But as a good habit is to structure your code and looks better. For a reason, my computer is very slow now. I think should not be slow, but I will go and delete some of those things that I don't need. Let me move this to trash and then empty this one. Yeah, okay. Back now. Hope things will perform better somehow. So now if X is more than Y, I put colon here and here, say print X is more than Y. We'll play with it now and do some different things. Now, see the else, where is it? This is something you need to remember now with Python, which I'm going to explain and show examples of how it doesn't work. X is not more than Y. I could have said X is less than Y, but it's not really the case. Now, this is the structure we have here. And if you run it, you can see we're getting this value. So if I come and make X 40, I will get the other value coming, the other result coming. Yeah. But notice this indentation is important in Python because Python doesn't use a curly bracket. Yeah. And if you are doing this in Java, you will write it something like this. Yeah. So you'll have something like this. But Python does not use curly brackets. You cannot use curly bracket there. Or then you have to use the colon. And because you use using the colon, you need to tell the computer or the compiler that this line belongs to the if statement. So if I move this line like this, and let me give you an example now. Yeah, if I do like this and run it, I get an error. What the error saying? Print expected and indented block. Indented means you organize it in a way to show this print is part of the if statement, and now it will work. Yeah, so you need to make sure it's indented. And if I do this, I get again error because this print is part of the else. So it has to move to the right. Yeah. Like this to do. So this is something you need to remember, and you will remember it by practice. The colon, anytime you put a colon, the software automatic will push your cursor to the right. Yeah, and you can see that one is happening. Now I can have a combination of of statement. What is the combination? You know, in life, sometimes you have more than one condition. So if I say to those people who are not live with me on the session, and I don't know how many of you that name, Abdullah. Yeah, I can see there are a number of Abdullah, number of Ahmed, or there's number of Ahmed. Now, if I say everyone, his name is Ahmed, should raise his hand. Put your hand up. Yes, yeah, good, Ahmed, thank you. So Ahmed raising hand, that's when I said everyone is Ahmed, raise hand, so many people did that because it's only one condition. Now, if I add a condition, someone, his name is Ahmed, and his age is more than 25. His name is Ahmed, and don't raise your hand on the computer, raise it virtually, actually, so I can see you. Now I can see you. Anyway, so everyone, his name is Ahmed, and his age more than 25. I'm going to get more people or less people? I will be getting less people before everyone his name is Ahmed, you can raise hand. Many people Ahmed. But when I added another condition saying and his age more than 25, I limited those to Ahmed with age more than 25. So two conditions with and limit the result, make the result less. This is logic, simply. But there is something else called or. If I say everyone, his name is Ahmed, or his age more than 25, I'll get more or less? I'll get more. I'll get even more than asking the people only with the name Ahmed. Why? Because now I give them flexibility. Either his name Ahmed or his age is more than 25. So or gives you more result. Yeah. And narrow the result. And one condition is in between the two together. So how I can use and? Let's say X is more than Y, yeah, and X is 25. See the two conditions now. My first condition is X is more than Y. This is one condition. And the second condition is X equal 25. Now, usually what I do, this is giving that my practice, I'll put bracket here and bracket here to say to myself, this is the condition. And I put bracket here and bracket here to tell me this is another condition. So I have now condition 1 here. The bracket is needed later when we get into pandas. Pandas will force us to use the bracket. Here it's optional because you're not using pandas, so it's optional. But this is why I keep that practice so I don't forget that. And this is another condition, yeah. But I need one bracket here to close everything. So this bracket here and this bracket here, these are the beginning and the end of my condition, because if I take this two here and cut them, this is my if statement when I put this here. So I have one condition here and one condition here. Okay, so this is applying two conditions, and in this case I'm requesting that X to be more than Y, which the case here, X more than Y, and X equal 25. X doesn't equal 25, so this one will be ignored. So it will jump and display this one to do. Let's do an example of the insurance, for example, okay? So say age is a variable, and say someone is age is 45, okay? And we have a condition saying if age is more than 50, let's say, okay, more than or equal, let's try this one, 50, then colon, then I can say insurance. Let me put a variable here just to complicate it a little bit. Insurance equal 0, let's make it there. And let me say here insurance equal 500, okay? Now, if his age else, the other else, and we will say insurance, we're not using print statement, you notice, 300. For a reason I'm doing this. Now here I can come and say print insurance. Okay, let me take this one up so you can see it. So this is my code. My code has a variable here, two variables. One variable is the age, which I can use input later so the user can input the data, or I can get it from an Excel file or somewhere, not important. And then I have a variable for the insurance. At the beginning, I'll assume the insurance is 0 because I'm just starting my code. And then I'm checking if the age is more than or equal 50, then the insurance will be 500. If it's not, it will be 300. So if I run this code, I'll get 300. Now assume I make this one 50, in this case, I will get 500. Why? Because 50 age is equal. The question here saying, is it more than or equal? It is equal. Equal is good enough. So age is equal, then I'll give. If I have also 51 or 55, I will always get 500. Now assume there is another category. If someone is more than 50, will be something. But if someone between 40 and 50, okay, and less than 50, should be something else. So there's something called else if. Else if means apply another condition. And let's apply another condition. We can say, in this case, age is more than 45 and age is less than 50. So this is another condition here. Here I need a colon. Yeah. Now the insurance in this case may be 400. I'll make it clear. Okay. Now, if that is not, we will say else is else and insurance equal 300. Now we have multiple conditions. I have the main condition that says if the age is more than 50. If it's more than 50, that will be 500 directly. But if it is not more than 50, it will go to the next one. This one, else if. Else if means apply another condition. You notice with the else, you don't apply another condition. This is the last option. If nothing works, it will go for else. So else if age is more than 45, I can use more than or equal 45, and age less than 50, then now it will be 400. So if I come here and put someone 48, it's not more than 50 or equal, so it will ignore this line. It will come here. It will find here that 48 is actually between 45 and 50. So it will take insurance 50 and ignore the remaining and go and print the result. Yeah. See, this print is critical that it should be at the same level as the if and else. Now, if I make a mistake and do it like this, what do you expect will happen? And this one, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Why? Because it's assuming it will print insurance only if someone is insuring 300. Yeah, it will not print. So I needed to print in all cases the insurance. So I need to push it outside and make it like this on the same line. And now when I run it, this will help you later when we do the loop, when we do the while, when we do the function, when we do all of things. This is the same concept of structuring your code. Anything you want it to be printed after running the process, you put it outside the loop. Okay, is it clear? I hope it is. I'll come back to you with some questions. Let me try now if you understand it. Let's see if you can answer this question. You need to look at your phone, I think, because just a because I think I still did not, there's something with that counter, it will hide this one. But if you look on the phone, you will see the questions, you will see the answer, yeah? So now, or your computer. So I'm going to click here and the question will come. This is a question for you. Maybe to make this smaller a little bit. Yeah, this looks better. So if we have this code, what will be the outcome? I'll see if you are ready to give me a good answer for this. I need to switch the AC on. Very good. So let's see the results. Okay, so when we put this one here, what's happening now? Oh, yeah, there's something problem with the virtual background. I think, anyway. So this is the question. So X is 30, Y is 26. Now the condition we have here is X more than Y, 30 more than 26. This is fine. Then or whatever happened here is not important. So what we will get in this case, we will get the value of X. And I can see many of you are doing very well and managed to answer it right. So who is doing really the best? Let's see. Hisham, very good, Hisham. Joy, you're doing well today as well. And yesterday you did excellent. Mu'taz, Imran, all of you are doing great. So this is the first questions and you done well. So you understand it. And I think it's clear. See, the good thing with this or, we found from the first condition, it is true, then the remaining are not important. But if the first condition is false, then you start looking at the second condition. And then if it is again false, then you ignore the whole thing and you go to the next part, okay? So here is another one. Give you more time on this one, or maybe the same time. I made a change on the code. I used and instead of or. And because I should change the code and make the counter comes on the corner here, I will do that one. I was planning to do it, but I had so many meetings going on and other things, so was not able to do it. We'll do it, inshallah, for next time. Okay, so what is the result? Look at it. Now, basically, this condition will not apply because yes, it is more than 30, but this one is not more than 30. So means this the whole thing become false. When you have and, you need to have both to be true. This is true, but this is false, means the result is false. Or then you don't do this one, you look at this one, you're adding the two numbers together. And now I'm getting more of you going into the right answer. Okay, that's very good. And see, those people who did this is the right answer, which is 56. Basically, because this condition is true, this is false because y is 26, is not less than 25. So this is false. So the total of this condition is a false. Then this one we ignore and we look at this one. And here we're adding the two numbers together, y plus x. And this is why this is the right answers that you need to have. Who is doing? Hisham is doing well. Muhammad Al-Batani doing well. Some of you confused about this question. And I hope I'll try once more to clarify. Because we're using and, we need to have both conditions to be true to run the line underneath that one. And here in this case, only one is true. X is more than Y is true. But the other one is false because Y is 26 and 26 is not less than 25. So because this condition is false, we ignore this line and we jump here. And here what we're doing, we're adding Y to X. Y is 26, X is 30, we'll get 56. And that's how it is. Okay, we will move now to the for loop. We're done with the if statement and we covered it, I think. You need to practice it more and more. So what is the for loop? The for loop basically help you to repeat a certain process. Can be one line of code or can be 100,000 of codes. You can repeat it for certain number of times. So the for loop has a limited iterations or loops. We look at the while later has a wider list of iterations, depends on a certain condition. We'll look at it. How to create, here is an example. We'll look at the example. I have a question also for you to answer. Now look at this code and tell me what are you noticing by looking at this code. What are the things you noticed? And if someone already said what you're saying, maybe you don't need to say it, but it's up to you. From your phone now, you can answer this question. What are you noticing here? Okay, I can. 10 is not printed. Yes, that's a very good one. 10, although this loop going for until 10, but 10 is not printed. That's very good. In fact, we're doing 10 items because we started by 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3 until 9. So the number 10 is not printed, but there are 10 items printed. Okay, that's one good thing. Print number from 0 to 9. N appears as reserved keyword. Yes, N is one of the reserved in Python. So this is something has to be there. You have to say for I, N. Okay, the word range give you a range, and that's and the range here assuming from 0 to 9. We don't include the 10, and then when you do, you print 0 to 9. That's very good. What other things? I am looking at someone says something different. The code print all the number in the range till 10 and the loop. Yeah, you see the print is inside the loop. It's not on the same line. So it's part of the for loop. If it's starting here, then it's not part of the loop, but this is part. So every time I is 0, it will print it. Then it will go back. I became 1, it will print it. I became 2, it will print it. So it keeps going here. But if the if the print is here, it will not do that loop because it become outside the loop. So the loop, that's the way it works. The colon is one thing you need to remember, and the range as well, which we can see. Okay. So what else you said? Number started from 0. Very good. And all this is good. Yeah, thank you. So that's where it is. Let's maybe look at the other example. Then we go and do some code ourselves. Okay. My computer today is a little bit facing some challenge. I think I did something wrong with my code. Okay, let's do some coding and then come back to this one. Okay, practice is always a good thing. So let's do a few different practices. One, let's do the same thing. So you say for I in range of 10, yeah, and we'll have the colon. See, this colon is there, and we can say print. Let's make a little bit different. Say I put in there, yeah, 5 multiple 2, yeah, and let's make this one I. So what will happen here if I do this? I will get this, but I will get every number multiplied by 2. So 0 multiplied by 2, 0, then 1 multiplied 2, 2, and 3 multiply 2 multiply 2 become 4, and 3 multiply, yeah, it becomes like that. Okay, and let's put it just as it is. Now, what if I say from add this one here? What does that mean? Let's look at it now. Now it's starting, I'm forcing it to start from 2. If I wanted to start from 1, I can make it start from 1. So inside the range, it's not only a number, it can be a start and end of the number. So between 1 and 10. Yeah, if I want 10 to be included, I'll put 11. So now I'm getting that one. Okay, this is good. Now, if I can add something before, if I want to calculate the total of the numbers from 1 until 10, I'll say sum equals 0. Always, if you want to calculate total or sum, start it by 0. Yeah, because this way you reset your calculation. And let's do one thing here. Remove this print here. I'll say sum equal sum plus I. What does that mean now? Okay, now if you just keep it as it is now. So sum is 0. And then this is the loop from 1 to 10, yeah? Because 10 is included now. I at the beginning is 1. So 0 plus 1 will be stored in sum. Now sum become 1. Now there's other way to do this one, which we can use plus here. I remove this sum. We can do it this way if you want. This is the shorter one. But this is maybe confusing to you. So maybe this makes more clear. And later, when you get familiar, you become fine. So sum at the beginning is 0. Now when you go into the loop, I become 1. 1 to 0 become 1. So the sum now has changed and became 1. You go into the loop, I become 2. Then 2 plus 1 become 3. Now sum became 3. And then you go and you continue. This is the loop. Now, if I come here and say print sum, what do you think the result of this is? I can hear 55. Yes, you're right, 55. So that's how it is working. So this is a loop. Now we have, it has one line only inside the loop, which this, the sum. And then we print the sum at the end. Now, if I do this one like this, assume I don't do indentation, what will happen? It will every time print the sum. So I will get something like this. So now sum is 1, sum is 3, sum is 6. I don't want to print the sum every time. I want to print it after you calculate everything. So I take it outside the for loop. And this way it will calculate everything and then do the sum. Now, if I want to make it looks better as well, I can print here I, and look at this now. Now it's printing all the numbers and then the sum. Now I want the sum to appear like nice. I can add a line here, say print, I put quotation here and put some lines like this. You look at it now, it comes 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can see this is the sum. So these additional lines, I added one here, I added printing eyes here. Just this is a formal formatting, making it looks a little bit maybe better than the original one to be. So this is the for loop. Now, there are other ways we can use the for loop. This is one way. We can use it with the list. And let's look at this list. Assume I have something called marks, okay? And I have a list that include the marks 90, 80, 75, 85, 80, 50. These are marks here. Now I want to calculate the total of these marks and the average. What I can do, let me create a variable called total and make it 0. You call it sum, you call it total, you call it X, you call it Y, what you like. But use something that meaningful, okay? And now I can create a for loop. See how I'll use the for loop? I can see for M, N marks, okay? I'm not using numbers, notice? I came with a new variable, I call it M, but this M represents the values in the list. So it starts, M is 90, M is 80, M is 75, M is, and so on, yeah? So every time M takes a different element there, okay? I can see here total equal total plus M. Yeah, every time I have M. And I come at the end here and say print total. This is the total, and run this one. See now what is happening? It just calculated the total of all those numbers we have here. Yeah, this is the total. I can do here something, say, comma, total equal quotation, say to quotation, and then comma. See, this one is the message will be displayed now. When I run, I'll get something called total equal 75. Now, if I want to calculate the average is basically total divided by number of items, yeah? So average, I can come with something here. I call it AVG, which I can call total. See, total is lowercase, yeah? I have to use lowercase. Divided by how many items I have in the list. Last time we learned that if you want to know how many items in the list, we use len. So I use len marks. This will give me how many items and marks. And then I can again print what? Average equal, comma, IVG. Now, if you run this, you notice what happened. It calculated the total and then calculated the average. I know this is basics for some of you, but we need those skills to move to the next module, which we'll do. So you need to get those skills to go into the data analytics, because you need to learn basics of programming. Okay, so what basically happened here? We took the total 0. We created a loop that use a variable called M, Z, Y, R, whatever you want to call it. That represents the elements in the list, which marks. And then every time M will change based on the value of that element. Okay, and every time we added that value to the previous total, and this will calculate total. We're done with the loop, which went through things and calculated the total for us. Now we're coming into doing some printing. So we'll print the total and T lowercase here. See, this total is completely different with this, from this. This is just a message because it's between quotation. It can be anything. I can write anything. It doesn't make any sense. It will print it as I write it. Yeah, because it's between quotation. So don't confuse it with the total here. The total here, you can see how it's coming black, clear, very nice, because this is a variable related to that. So this is basically printing the total. Then I need to calculate the average. I take the total, which I calculated, I divide it by the number of elements. And the command is len, will find me the length of the list. And then you divide the total by the length of element, will get you the value. Now this we can later change it and make it appear 2 decimal point or 1 decimal point to do. Hope this is good. Let's go there. And if you have questions, raise your hand. I will start allowing you to speak. I think we can do that. But I can see there is one hand raised. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or you try and get Tina. Tina, unmute your microphone. Okay, you have a problem, Tina. Then I'll go to the Deepak. You can speak now. Go ahead.
Sir, how to get this vertical list like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? This vertical list, I'm not able to get it.
Vertical, similar to what I have now on the screen?
Yeah, sir. Yes. How to get this one?
Yeah, basically this is the let me show you while you are.
So it will print. Okay, I tried it, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, basically you see 4. Maybe you had a mistake somewhere.
Okay.
4 I in range. You look exactly this 10, and then the colon. Maybe you forgot the colon. Then you say print I. Sorry, print bracket I. Now this will get it for you.
Okay. Okay, sir. Got
That's
it.
it.
Thank you.
But maybe you made a mistake. You put this one like this.
Yeah.
If you do it like this, you'll not get.
Yes, sir. I did this.
Yeah, that's one thing. The other error, just it's good opportunity. You forget this one. This will not work as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay. Got it.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Good. Great. Good. Your question is good. Helping others who have the same questions, but they may be shy to ask the question. Sai,
Hello?
did I pronounce your name right, or how you pronounce your name?
It's correct. It's correct.
Correct. Okay. Good.
Yeah. So, in the marks code now. So in
Yeah.
that, I didn't understand what is the meaning of for m in marks total is equal to total plus m.
You mean this one?
Oh yeah, yeah.
This line?
For
Which
m
line?
in marks. No. For
Which
m
line?
in marks, the third one.
This one, yeah. Okay, this is good. Yeah, the meaning of this one is saying use a variable called m to represent the values in the list. Yeah, what does it mean? M will take different values. M will be the first time 90 when in the loop. The second time M will be 80, and the third one will be 75. So this M represent the elements in the list, and it is variable, means it keeps changing based on the list. So now if I add another one here, says for example 88 to this one, and I run this one and I can run this one, you will see the total has a change because the value M has changed. Let me do it. Maybe I think you have a good point and you seem to be confused, but let me do something. Let me remove this one and let me say here print M. If I do this, notice now I have this code. Yeah, this is the code. I have M in range of mark. When I said print M, what it did, printed for me the values. 90 became 90, 80 became 80, 75. So M now is representing those values. Is it clear?
Oh yes.
Is it clear, or are you saying
Yes,
that just? Very good. Okay, thank you. You have another question?
Yeah. So again, if I even I wrote down this code.
Yeah.
So in that, whenever I type m, it's coming 50 for me.
Yeah. Maybe you wrote something wrong, but let me put this code in the chat and you take it from the chat and try it in your computer. Yeah. I just put it in the chat and you take it from the chat and put it there as it is. And I'm sure you added something wrong in your code. But try it from the chat. And if you still have an issue, raise your hand. I'll allow you to speak. Good. Because I need to get others to speak. Tina, I will lower your hand. If you want, you can put it up again. I have Herbert. Please unmute your microphone and speak.
Good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon. How are you?
In addition to Sai's question,
yeah,
could you remove the M? What happens if you remove the M?
From here?
Yes.
Yeah, if I remove the M, I get this error. Because I need M, I need a variable to use that. If there's no M, it will not work. I need M.
The first statement, in first statement, you have declared M max equals to the elements in the set.
Where did I do that?
The first, no. Your first statement.
Yeah,
Max,
this one.
max, yes, max. Then you list the elements.
Yes, correct.
So I'm saying, can you do without M? Why do you have to use M?
I can use anything. I can use Z here.
I know.
I need something here. This is the way the for loop works. The
Okay.
for loops need a variable that change based on a list of numbers. Yeah.
Okay.
So this variable will change value based on the list of numbers that are in marks, and goes back here. And that's the way the for loop works. It needs a variable. Even when we use the beginning one, we use this one, for I in range of 1 to, this is a variable that change in a list, that the list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So the word range here represent a list that from 1 to 10. Yeah. So this is the way it works. It needs a variable. You have to say for I or for M or for Z or for X in a range of a list. Yeah, that's the way it works. If you don't have M, it will not work. M or Z or anything, as you rightly said, can be any variable, but it has to have a variable after 4 that represent elements in a list.
Okay, thank you.
But this is a very good question. I'm very happy you're asking these questions because maybe it's confusing for everyone. Okay, thank you. Let me see who else have. I can see Muhammad is asking question. Yeah, Muhammad, go ahead, please.
Hello everyone. Hello, Mr. Hamad. Thank you for your great presentation. I mean, I work on a chapter as I sent you in message, but I find that some problems. The first one is how to put the symbols like more and because when I click on the button here, it gives me less. This is the symbol more and less. I don't know how it works.
I didn't understand you, Muhammad.
For example, X, when we write X, more or less, and that symbol.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the problem. Okay. For example, if you're looking at if X is more than or equal, this is how you write it. Yeah.
It gives me just less. I search about more.
Yeah. You need more and then equal.
Yes.
You cannot have equal then more. Yeah, the way it works is more than equal. Now this is two keys. One is more, and then the other one is equal. It's on the keyboard. You'll find
how it works. I click on what? I can click on Alt
shift,
or
shift. It depends on your computer. If you're using Mac, will be shift and.
The second thing, I think when this how to write numbers because I don't know numbers from 1 to in the list. How it is. And sorry to. Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay. Okay. Who else we have? We have Salman. Salman, you can speak.
Hello, sir. Good evening, as per your desk.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Good morning, good every time. I don't know what time you are at.
Yes, sir. Please, I want to know the software you are using for this work. Which software is that, please? Can you guide me?
We're using something called Anaconda, which we explain in the first video. If you go to the first video, we have there's a code called Anaconda. You can download it from this site. Anaconda. If you go there, you'll find this one. Yeah, it's Anaconda. If you go there, you can download the individual edition, and then you use it. So that's the software we're using.
Okay, so is it available for Windows edition also?
Yeah, for everything, Windows, Mac, Linux, whatever it is.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Iman, last one, then we'll start talking. Iman, you can unmute. Yeah, go ahead.
So basically like the for Z in marks, the Z is like the counter, and when you put marks in, it's going through the indexes. So like Z 0, so and then it adds the element at the 0 index in marks, and then it adds that to total.
Yeah, it's not exactly. I hate to tell you that it's not exactly, but the Z is not an index. Yeah, it's not a counter. Z is a value of the first element, and then Z the value of the second element, and then Z the value of the third element. Is the value of the element, not the index of the element.
No, but
Yeah.
like it's taking it from the indexes. That's what I mean to say.
Yeah.
The values at the specific indexes, that's what it's storing as in Z.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if you look at it that way, it's right. Yeah, because you're assuming the index at the beginning is 0, then 1, 2, and say, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So basically, it goes the 4 this way. When you do 4, it goes through the elements one by one and start processing them. I will do another example with some text. Let's say, for example, I have students. Yeah. And let me do a student, and I say I have Ahmad, I have John, I have Kumar, I have David, whatever. These are a list of people, yeah? Now, let me show you, I can print now, say for S, I can say, I just use S. N, I can use anything. N students, colon, and they say print S. Now what it will do, it will print them for me. So it doesn't have to be numbers, it can be anything, yeah? So this is a list of names, and I used S to represent the elements there, and I moved S index from right, maybe this is the way people can understand it, from first one to second one to third one, and then printed their names. And that's, again, I can apply for to anything, any list. And the list, as we said, can have a number, can have a text, can have other things. I can have a list inside the list. Assume I do this, another list here, and put 40, 80, something like this, okay? This is a list inside the list. Let's see what will happen. It will print those names, and then when it comes to this list, it treat it as one element and print it here. So it can be anything inside the list. Basically, it will go through them one by one and extract them. Once they extracted, you can print them, you can do anything else you want to do with them. Depends on what you want to do with them. Okay, I think this is good question from everyone. Thank you. I think you already asked your question. Let's go and get ready for the questions coming on the screen. Okay, there is a question will come to you. You need to get some points. I like this. You have, many of you participated here, and refresh the cloud. Cloud looks like cloud. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now you have this code here. You want sum is 0, and then you need I going from 2 to 5, and then calculate the sum. What will be the sum in this case? I will show you another background. Okay, I think it's done. Let's look at the answers. The answers, most of you giving 9. Why you are not participating enough? We need more people to participate. There are 23 of you gave the answer 9. Is it 9? Starting from 2, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 9. So the correct answer is 9. That's the correct answer because it starts from 2 and excluding 5. So 2, 3, 4. What is the total of 2, 3, 4? Is 9. We know 5 is not excluded. We noticed from the previous observation you had, you told me 10 was not displayed on the screen. This is the same thing. And now I'm sure you are excited to know who is getting the first place. Muhammad Al-Batani now is 84 points. Ula is 74. Cho is 68. And Ibras is 68. And Hisham is 65. And then we go to the list. You're doing good progress. I can see many of you answering correctly, getting the point. You can see them more. Now, those who are answering now, you just answer it for your record, but they will not add you any points. Good. Now, I think there's another. Now, we'll go to the while. I am slow today, which not usual, but let's see. Okay, now we are in the while. Now we saw the for loop. The for loop repeats things fixed number of times, yeah? But the while is not really fixed. It depends on a condition. If you look at this one, and I have a question for you, what are you noticing here in this code? What the difference you're noticing? Structure first is different from for. For has something I in range or M in range or S in range. This has a condition. So while has a condition. Basically saying repeat this loop while this condition is true. If the condition is false, stop the loop. And that's the difference between while and for. So it's based on the condition. In this case, we're saying I is 0. So while I less than 5, repeat the loop. So what happened? We'll say print I. We're increasing I by 1. Once I gets 5, then it will stop. Yeah. So why are you not answering this one? You're not noticing anything here? Okay. Maybe. This participant raise hand. I'll come to you. Let's practice while, and then we can jump into that. Okay, while. Again, it's similar. So if you come with the I equals 0, let me say here, while I is less than 6, okay, and colon. This is the structure, the same structure in terms of having a colon, but here we're having a condition. And we can say print. Now this one, you can make a mistake and run it without increasing I. That will crash your computer. Your computer will crash. Don't do it. If you don't add this line, your computer might crash. Why? Because you will go into infinitive loop. Without this one, you will be in infinitive loop. Means you will go and print, continue doing this one all the time. So that maybe crash your computer and it will stop working. But when we say I equal I plus 1, every time increase I by 1, when it gets into 6, then it will stop the loop. So be careful, don't run this one if you don't add I equal I plus 1, unless you want your computer to crash and you want to test it, yeah? But this is how the while work. In data analytics, for and while are not used widely because Pandas has a very efficient way of repeating items, but these are programming fundamentals that you need to know here. Okay, I have a question for you, and get ready for the questions. Where are we? Maybe I think I should stop my camera, but my computer is very slow today, and I have to see what's going on. Okay, you have a question now? Oh, what is it? You have a question. Get ready for the questions. So you have this loop. I want to see your creativity with this one. I'll give you a little bit challenging one. We'll see if you can do similar thing. We have a list, and we're doing I, and then we're going through the list. Let's see what you will come with. Basically, this loop will continue while the value is less than 70. Once it becomes 70, it will stop. So what will be the result here? Is it going to be what? Okay, did the time finish? I think the time finished. Let's look at how it come. Okay, so many of you are saying 80. Yeah, which right, it's 80. Why? Because 70 is not included. It will stop when it gets 70. So it will ignore all these things when it gets into 70, and that's what you're getting there. You can try it on your computer and you will see the result. Now, who is leading? Sho is leading. Idris is coming, Muhammad Idris, Ola, and things are changing. So that's where it is. Now we have looked at the for and the while. Now we will get in something interesting called functions. Okay, what are functions? We have seen before, if you remember, we did marks. Yeah, marks is there, yeah? If I say marks, we had the marks, just to remind you, this is the marks we were dealing with. I'll copy it just from here and bring it here. This, assume I have these marks now. We had some built-in functions. Built-in means they are already exist in Python. Yeah, they are there. For example, if I say marks and put dot and press tab, I'll get list of those functions. Remember last time we looked at index, sort, we looked at sort, we looked at count, we looked at append. These are functions. If I use, for example, append and add 100 to this one, this basically will add 100 to marks. If I print marks, I'll find they have changed now. They added 100. So this is a function. Sometimes you hear the word method. Method or a function is the same thing. In the past, they used to call it procedure in the old programming languages. But now commonly you will see the word method or function. So append is a function that already built in Python that help us to add an element to a list. Now, how we can create our own functions? I want my own function. I want to create function that calculate the total of this, and I can use it anytime. Let's do that. To create a function in Python, use the word def, D-E-F, space, and then you give name to that function. Let me call it total of list. Okay, and then I'll say here L, uppercase L, so I can remember. Now, this is the way to do it. You use the word def, then you have a space, then you come with the name for your function. Now, what name I should use? You can use any name, but don't start by a number, don't have a space in that name, and avoid special characters like $sign and those things. If you do that, the function will be fine. But there is a way to name functions. Usually you should start by a lowercase. If you have two things, for example, in this case, total of list or total list, for example. I started T with lowercase. When I came to the second word, if there are two words in it, the second word will be uppercase. Now, if you follow this, it's not, if you don't follow it, you will not get any error. But this is a naming convention that programmers use to and that will help others to understand your code. Yeah. So I'm here saying total list L. This is a function. I'm saying declare a function. This function, what I will do, I'll create a loop there for, I'll use lowercase l. Okay, let's use x. Yeah, okay, x and l. Now this is again the for loop that we understand, which we're going through elements that in L, we're calling each element x. Okay, now let me say before this one, I'll put total equal 0. You remember that I always do this. Now we'll say total equal total plus what? X. Now this is calculated total for me. And let me say I finish this one. I want to print the total. Print total. Now this is basically now a function that I created. What does it mean, function? You will see now the benefit of that one. But let's understand the structure first, then I'll show you the element. So the function start by def means I want to create a function. When I say def, say I want to create a function. What is the name of the function? I came with the name here. That function require data to run. Now, when we use append, notice this append here. We provided data, which 100. If we do append without a number here, it will generate an error. It needs a number, yeah? Some functions require a number. Some function does not require a number. So if the function you are creating require a data, you can use a variable here and you put a variable you like. Python is very flexible in that one. In other languages, you need to say, is this is integer or float or double or an object or whatever. Here, just give it a name and go. So we have a function called L, and we're assuming we have a variable called L, and we're assuming this L is a list, okay? Then we said we need to calculate total. Always when you want to calculate total, put total equals 0 before the for loop. Because if you put it inside the for loop, every time the loop goes in, it makes it 0. The total will become 0 all the time. You need to have it before the loop, not inside the loop, not after the loop. So total equals 0 should be before the for loop. Then here it will loop in. Assume we're sending marks here. We're sending it to this function. Marks will loop here. You understand it in a second. Okay. Let's run this function. What will happen if you run it? When you run a function, you get nothing. What that means, you get nothing. Why I'm creating it? It's created in the memory of your computer or into the server that you're using, and it is ready for you to call it to do anything. What does mean that? Let's show you. If I say total of total list and put bracket here and pass to it marks and do it like this. So what I'm doing here, I'm calling that function, saying function total list, I'm sending you marks. What you will do, as soon as I'm sending marks, it goes here, marks become L. Okay, then L represent marks. Total is 0. Now for X in L, the first X in L is what? Is 90. then it will add it to the total. Then it will go back to the loop. Second X in L is 80. Then it added to the total and goes to the loop and continue until it finishes and give me total. Now let me run this line and you will see what I'll get. I get the total. Now, anytime I have any function, let me do this one. X equal this number, this one. This is a new X. Now I can use this function to calculate the total of X. I just replace this one with X. Now you give me the total of the new. So I have now a function I created that helped me to calculate the total of any list. You notice in the list, there is nothing called total. Yeah, when you look at their function, there's no total or sum. Now I have my own one I created. I call it total list. And that one I can pass to it any list that include numbers. A list that can include text, it will not work with it because this function is created for calculating the total. So this is my function now, which I created. If I create another list, call it Z equal, and put some decimal point there. Yeah, and put 88.3 and then 60.5. These are things. I run this one, then I can again take this one. Now the only change I need to change is the new list I have, and it gives me the total. Now I can make this one looks better if I say here total equal comma. Now one thing I need you to remember, and listen to me carefully and watch it carefully. You notice I changed now, I came to the function, I made some changes. If I just go and run, that change will not be effect. I have to run this one first. I have to run this cell first. So it goes into the memory with the new functions. Yeah, so I run it now. Now, if I come here and do this, you'll find coming total equal. Yeah, and this one here, I come here, becoming X. So any thing. So the function basically is a group of code. Why we need a function? We need a function because if there's something I want to repeat multiple of times, for example, I want to calculate the total of a list. I create it once. And anytime I need it, just I call it. I put the name of that function. I pass the data that required to the function. It will do the process and send me the data. So now I don't need every time to write this code to calculate the total of anything. I do it just once, and then I can execute it multiple of times. And this is the beauty of the functions we're doing. Let's see some practice, and then I'll come to your questions. I think you will get an example here. Here's an example. So this is an example, another one. I call it total of list and pass to it X. I use sum instead of total. Sum equals 0. For X1 in X, X represent any list coming there, adding the sum and displaying the result. Yeah. What did you observe there? I think you already know it. So you need to be ready now for the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll count to 1,000. Get ready. I'm going to click. I'm going to click, then I'll come to the hands raised. You will get questions on the screen now to answer, which related to the functions. Here is it. Now we have this function. What will be the output of this function? This is a good question. What do you think will happen if you run this code? As I said, today we're doing lots of things. You need to practice it. If you go to the recording, you stop it and repeat the same thing, change some values, create a different list or create different functions. This is the way you learn programming, by practicing and looking at different things. Okay, let's see the answer. Basically, I like those who said there is an error. Yes, there is an error. What is the error that will come? Basically, this function requires a variable called x. And when we did call it, we didn't provide any value. So this will give us an error because it is expecting us. There is a way to make this one conditional, but it's not good for this function we're using now. So there's an error will come there. It's not going to display 0. It's not going to do 10 because we didn't pass data. We didn't pass any list inside this one. You notice this function I have here, total of something. Where is it? This one, yeah. I can run it not in different way. Now, if I have a list of say 50 and 60, I can pass to it a list like this. It doesn't have to be a variable. So I'm saying total of this, it will give me 110. So I can even pass to it data like this, but I have to pass it like a list. Yeah, so not always has to be a variable. I can pass actual data to it and it will calculate the total for me. Now I can ask you, say, calculate the average. You notice from the previous example, we just need to say the average and use the length of the list and then come with the average. Okay, good. There is another question. Oh, who's doing well in this one? Cho is ahead, 10 points between Idris and Muhammad Idris and Cho. And then Ola is holding at 107, which is not that far. And this is like the Olympics, yeah? I enjoyed it this time. I always enjoy it. Okay, let's now look at, there is, I think, question. I'm not sure if this is a question or this is an information. So get ready. Oh, this is information. Okay, so now we're talking about object and classes, and this is the last thing we will do for today. Maybe we'll do a revision sometime next time because there's lots of things we covered today. So what are object and classes? Again, this is another course on its own, something called object-oriented programming. Now, object-oriented programming, the idea behind it is to make the code usable. Like you write a code and you can use it in multiple programs or in multiple locations in your code. And you can put them in packages and then you can start reusing it in different programs. So object-oriented came from the idea everything around us is an object. I'll give you an easy example that you should understand. If we take a class is a group collection of objects, yeah? Let's take a class is human being. Human being is a class. I'm not looking at it from classifying people, no, but this is the whole human being is one because we're all the same. We are all coming from created by the same God and everything. So class called human, okay? This is a class. Now, if I look at another class, let's take a class which may be, again, easy for you to remember is cars. Cars or vehicles or cars is a class. Now, what is object in this case? Now, if I'm talking about a specific car, it's my car, Nissan, whatever, the name, number like that, with that registration number and very specific one. This is an object. So a class is a collection of things. All cars in one class, you can put them, bigger class. And then maybe you can divide them into subclass, can become sport cars, passenger cars, and something like that. But once you start talking about a specific class, with specific number, with the civil registration and color and things like that, this become an object in that case. Same thing, say student. Student is a class of all students in the university. But if I'm talking now about Hamad and his ID, this number, and his date of birth is that, and he's registered in this course, I'm talking about an object. He is an object now. So classes are general, they have similar attributes. And we can say a car, what are the attributes of the car? It has the number of wheels, it has the mileage of the car, it has the color, it has the brand, it has the model. These are attributes of the car. All cars has this attribute, but they have a different values for these attributes. One car is red, one car is black, one car is Mercedes, one car is Lamborghini, one car is Corolla or something like that. So when you come specific to specific one is object. When you categorize or make it bigger, it's a class. Okay, so class and object in programming become important in a way that you can group lots of functions, lots of attributes in one class, and then you start using it. Now in this course we will not use I will not create classes in the remaining of the course, but we will be using some classes that are already exist. For example, we use the list. The list itself is a class. The list is a class. The set is a class. The dictionary is a class. But each list has a different values, has a different length, store different data type, but they are all from the same class of list. So list class programming now all object oriented, all programmings, because object oriented, as I said, make it easy to reuse the code and improve the readability of the code, and also help you quickly develop classes. If you come in university and study computer science or IT or thing related to that, you will learn more about object and classes in more details, and you will know something called inheritance. One class can inherit attributes and function from father class or parent class or upper class, and there's some interfacing between them, and there's something called override, overload, so many things you'll do. We're not going to touch on this thing. It's not needed. For data analytics, you can do data analytics, data science without being really expert in this area. But it is something you need to be aware of it. There's object-oriented programming. I'll show you an example here, and then we'll do a little bit of coding on that one. So here I created a class called student. To create a class, you need to use the word class. You remember in the function, to create a function, we use the keyword diff, D-I-F. Okay? Here we use the keyword class. And then the name of the class. A naming convention that the name of the class should always start by uppercase, not lowercase. Yeah. So it's class student. Now I'm creating class student. What are the attributes of that student? I just limited this one to two things: the name of the student and the course he's doing. And you notice I use just text, empty text, there's no text there, because later I can provide name, later I can provide a class. I can use also age, for example, and put a number here, 0, or things like that. So a class start this way: class, the name of class, colon, then some attributes. This attribute can become very long. Can be the name, the course, the university is in, the grade, the GPA, the whatever it is. You can list all those different attributes that you need for your program. A class can have something called constructor. When you build a building or create any object, you need to create an object of this class. Yeah. So to create an object of class student, you need this one. This is always like that. Div, it's a function, but special function. Div underscore underscore, and then the word init underscore underscore, the two underscore here. Bracket, you need to use the word self. Self refers to the same class. And then you need to put the variables you're passing. Here I'm passing N and C. N and C. N, I'm using it for the name, and C, I'm using it for the course. I can call it name and course, still the same. So self.name, now I'm resetting this name, yeah, to the N. So self.name equal N, self.course equal C. This is creating the class. When you create the class and you run it, it goes into the memory of your computer and waiting for you to use it, similar to the function. It doesn't do anything, you just store it in the memory of the computer. Now, how I can use this class to create an object? Now, I have a class called student, has a name, has a course, and has a constructor here that required N and C, and then reset the name and the course. How to use it? To use it, you come usually with a new variable. You call it S1, student 1, student 2, whatever you want to call it, equal, and then the name of the class. This is the name, student. Now, what data I need to pass to it? I'm passing two data. One, the name, Ahmed, comma, the second data, CIS2303. So Ahmed is referring to N, CIS2303 referring to C. So basically it will go and assign N to name and assign C to course. If I come here and print name, S1 name, so I'm saying, what is the name of this object? So S.name will give me Ahmed, because S now using Ahmed as the name. Now you come down and say S course. Course became, because of this one, became C, which would CIS 2303. So S, and bring you this one. So this is the way how the objects work and classes. Let's create one here and see how it will go. Class will say cars. Yeah, we like cars. Okay. This is a cars. So what we can have with the cars, we can say brand. Yeah, brand equal, and leave it like that. We have mile age of that car, and we'll make it now 0. And we'll have model. The model number, this 2019, 2020, whatever. So now this is the attributes of that one. The next thing, we need to create the constructor. So div underscore underscore init, yeah, underscore underscore, and then we're passing self. Now, when we create a car, we need to pass something to it, yeah. So we can pass the brand, for example, yeah, say brand, and we'll pass all these things, yeah, brand, that's one, like this. And then we can pass also the mileage, okay, I'll keep it as it is, and we'll pass the model. I'm keeping it the same name, okay, colon. So this is similar to a function. The only difference, the name of the function is already decided. It's a function, but this is the name already decided. I'll show you we can do more with this one. So let's say now we want to change the model, say a brand. So we need to say self brand equal brand. Now you will be confused now. What is brand? This brand here representing this one, but this brand here is representing this one. So what we're saying, make this one equal to whatever the user will send. Okay, with the same thing here, self dot mile. I hope I'm writing it right. Okay, so mileage, and then let's add the last thing, self model equal model. Now we created a class. I did run it. You can notice that I did run it. Yeah, how you know it's something run? When you see this number changing. See, when I do this, that number became 64. That means I did run this code. Yeah, this is maybe I should have said. Now let me say C1. This is I want to create a car. Okay, C1 cars. Now I need to decide what is the brand of this one. Okay, I'll call it BMW. Okay, I like BMW. Okay, and the mileage for that car is 20,000. Okay, something like that. And the last thing is the model. It's putting a number. Yeah, say 2021. Okay. Now we created a car C1. Let's create car C2 as well. Yeah, let's be lazy for just some time. I'll car C2 and we'll say it this Nissan and we'll make it doing 90,000 and it's 2018 and we'll do C3. See, once you create the class, you can create as many as you want to do. Make this one again BMW, because I said I like it, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this should be 2020. He's using it a lot. Okay, now we created this one. If I run it, now these three objects are created into the memory of the computer. Let me try C1 dot brand. What's happening now? I'm using the object C1 and I'm asking the computer, find me the brand of the first car. So I said C1 brand, give me this one. If I say C2 brand, of course, will give me the other one. Okay. Now, if I can see C1 model, yeah, it gives you that. So when you create a class, the next step, you can create an object of the class. And in the object of that class, yeah, you can get any data you want by using the attribute here, using the object name. C1 is the object, C2 is the object, C3 is the object. Suppose the object name, and then you decide which attribute you want to get the data. I want the model, I put the model. I want the mileage, I put the mileage, and things like that. I can add other functions, and let's do another function. Assume this car traveled for another distance, yeah, trip, yeah. We'll say, call it trip here. Traveled, trip D. Call it trip, leave it trip. So trip, and assume we give it a number, say distance. Assume the car is, the owner of the car took the car and he went to Riyadh, travel from Abu Dhabi to Riyadh, it's 2,000 something kilometers. The mileage will change, okay? So we need to know the distance. How we can change that one? I can do the same thing. I can say self dot mileage equal distance. I'll explain it. Now I created a function called trip. I passed to the trip the distance the car traveled, and I'm going to change the mileage. I have to do it this way. Sorry, I have to say plus. I want to increase the mileage of the car by the distance that the car has traveled. So doing this one, if you look at the mileage of C1, let's run this one again. Look at the mileage of C1, mile age, okay. This is the mileage of C1. But let's say this C1 has a trip for another 2,000 kilometers, yeah. Well, something we did here wrong. Yeah, we need to say self. Yeah. Doing something stupid here. Why? Just passing this one. Yeah, because we're changing only. We need to fix the other one. So self distance. Name C is not defined. I think. Oh, C. Where is C? C1 should be C1. I'm doing something. It should be C1 should be, yeah. This should be C1, and this need to be again put there. This is the mistake we did. Okay, and we'll run this one here, and then we'll run this one here. So we're getting what is it? Trip by trip. Take one possible argument, but two are given. It should be only one. Yeah, now it's fine. So what's happened? We need, we were using C1. Again, to pass any variable, you need the word self, remember here, and then we need to add the two. Now, when we did this one, if we look at the mileage again, and let's do it here. See, the mileage has increased. It was 2337. When we added a trip for 2000, it became 22. Now, if I run this one again and say this car also traveled for another 1,000, yeah. So now C1 mileage has increased by certain value. So let me explain it again. So we have the code, which until here I think you were okay. Now we added another special function. It's not like this one constructor. We called it trip, and we pass to it distance, and then we calculate the mileage again by increasing the mileage by the distance that the car traveled. Now we created objects of this class with this data. When we run the mileage of C1, we find C1 is 23.3. Then we said we made a trip for 2000. When we run it here, now that changed. If I display the mileage now, I'll find the mileage has increased by 2000. And anytime now, this car travel, I did C1, I can do the same thing for C2, C3, and that way. So basically, when you create a class, you create a class and then you can create number of objects from that class. The object, you have to give it a specific details. Here, cars is very general. But when we created C1, we give it a brand, we give it a mileage, we give it a model number or year number. This is very specific data we gave it. Now we can add other methods here to change those data and do some calculation. We added one, for example, you make a trip for certain distance, so you increase the mileage by certain value. Okay, let me see the last question I have for you. Are you ready for the last question? Then I'll answer your questions. We don't have time, but let's see your final questions and see how it will go. Here is the final question. I give you 90 seconds to do it because it's a little bit maybe more complicated. Maybe. So what is the output of this code? This needs a little bit of thinking. Okay, ready? Let's see the results. We'll go there and see who is really leading. You can see the leading has changed because this has 90 points. I will do something with this code, but I think that's how it is. But the right answer is nothing. Yes, nothing will come on the screen. It does a lot of things, but nothing will be displayed. By basically why? We created a class, we ran the class, put in the memory, we added, created an object called S, taking this data, and we did run it. So now the object S is created in the memory. We didn't display it. We didn't use print, or we didn't ask it to show, to present the name, nothing we did. So it does nothing. In fact, it's not going to display anything because we didn't ask it to do anything. And I'm really happy to see that good number of you managed to answer this one correctly. And that means you understood and you started to get there. Now, there's nothing maybe here. Yeah, nothing. I said. So thank you for that. I know there's so many questions you have here. I didn't look at them today. What are arrays? Arrays is similar to list. Look at the list as an array. Then we have, why should we use double equal? Because when you use double equal, that means you ask, is it equal? Double equal means, is it equal? One equal means you're giving the value. So if you use x equal y, you're making x equal to y. But you use double equal, you're telling, is it equal? That's the syntax, the way the coding is structured into most programming languages. So you look at it like that. Hello, Mr. Hamad, thank you. At the end, I activate the Jupyter on my PC and I choose Python 3, which, okay, very good. This is good, you made progress. I still didn't understand the insurance code. Okay, let's see if we can explain it next time when we come. We shall put I between brackets. I'm not sure which I you're talking about, but you didn't need, for the 4, you didn't need I in the bracket. For IN, you didn't need I in the bracket, if that's the question. Can we print formatted text? Yes, you can print bold, italic, you can. There are functions related to that. If you start looking at it, this is what I need you to do. In programming, don't wait for people to teach you. Just go there and say, how I can do this, yeah? How I can print formatted text in Python. Just do that in Google. You'll find so many examples showing you that. Go to YouTube and ask that question. You'll find answers. You need to start finding the information yourself, not waiting for people to explain it to you. Okay, so do that. Yes, you can. What happens if I write marks? Yeah, you have to use square bracket. square bracket is required for the list. Otherwise, you need to convert it to a list. If you put it a tuple using the normal bracket, you need to convert it to a list, and then you can do that. And easily you can say list, and then it becomes. Can you please share the video of yesterday? By the way, all the videos, let me share screen and show you this. You don't need every time me to send you the video, although I will try to do that if I can, but let me show you one place you go to, you'll every time find the video there, and it's already there. Okay, so, and we are live there. Let me show you now. Share screen. You will find all the videos in our channel, ADU Connect. If you search for ADU Connect, you will find this is our live session now going on. If I click here, you will hear me. ADU Connect, yeah, and it's happening there. So you'll find all the previous videos. You have this course and other courses, and you have so many faculty doing so many workshops. You come here, you'll find all the videos that we have there, and it will be there. This one will be there as soon as we finish. So you just search for ADU Connect. That's the one, and you will find it there. And please subscribe so you can get access anytime we upload a video, you get a notification. Just subscribe and press on that icon so you can get notification. And always you'll be notified. So thank you. I think we covered a lot today. It was really a lot, and I am sorry if you find it confusing, but the idea behind it, I said, to get you introduced to programming, and then you start doing the thing yourself. Most of the things we did today, we will not use it that much tomorrow. We will be using more of yesterday session, but we'll use a little bit of for loops and other types of conditions that we need. So get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be fun. Tomorrow we'll do the data science. We'll be dealing with huge data about health, about education, about investment, about stock market, and all those different type of data. We will be working with it and doing some manipulation and with those data. So tomorrow is really exciting day, and you need to be coming with fresh and ready for that. Now, what you need to do, you need to go to the IBM, finish the questions. If you watch this video again, I think you should be able to answer the questions that are in IBM, and start getting ready to get your badges when you finish the course. So thank you, everyone. I wish you a great time, and I hope you're finding this course useful and you are enjoying it. Thank you all.